Hello friends, welcome back to a new video. Friends, in this video we will look at a very important motivation theory, that is equity theory or Adams equity theory to be precise. Now before moving ahead, don't forget to subscribe this YouTube channel since this is the only channel which provide quality content. Also don't miss to join my Facebook and Telegram groups where I post lots of one-pagers and other PDFs which are very important for your examination. All the links are there in description to this video, so do join after you finish this video. Now friends, there are many motivation theories which are important for your ABM paper and also for your HRM elective paper. So on request of many students, I will be discussing some of the important motivation theories in coming weeks. Now friends, I have already discussed Maslow's theory of needs along with case study in detail in one of the previous videos. So do watch that video if you have missed Maslow's motivation theory. You can click the I button at top of this video to see that. For your ease, I have also placed link in description to this video. Now friends, before seeing equity theory in detail, we must know this first part. That is, what is this equity? Many students often get confused with this part. So friends, here equity basically refers to the sense of fairness, and that too in relation to rewards that an employee expects and receives from his or her organization. Now in banking terms, I can explain this with the help of banker's allowance in different banks. Friends, when I joined Bank of India as a DRO, some seniors always used to compare their allowances with banks like SBI. They always used to say, see what SBI and other bankers are getting as allowances. In SBI, even assistant is getting petrol allowance and many other things. But here in our bank, we are getting lesser allowances. So friends, this is basically an example of equity. Senior bankers here are comparing themselves with other bank employees, and they are seeing inequality in their allowances as compared to other bankers. Now friends, here please note that employee feels unequally treated when his or her rewards are lower than those of someone else in same position, and that too for identical performance. Now friends, such inequality demotivates employees. And this is what happening in banking sector these days, especially in public sector banks. So friends, here comes the equity theory of motivation, which deals with the way people compare the value of themselves to others in similar work situations based on their inputs and outputs. Now, inputs are what you bring to the situation, like your skills, time, education, loyalty, flexibility, tolerance, etc. On the other hand, outputs are everything you get in return, like your salary, bonuses, raise, recognition, reputation, security, and promotions. So friends, in equity theory, employees normally take the ratio of their outcomes to their inputs and compare it to the ratio of others, usually with someone in similar situation like co-worker or someone doing the same job. So if the ratio of outcomes to input of self is less than the ratio of outcomes to inputs of others, then the perception is that of inequality due to being under-rewarded. Then secondly, if the ratio of self is equal to ratio of others, then it is said to be the situation of equality. And lastly, if the ratio of self is greater than ratio of others, then this is also perceived to be inequality due to being over-rewarded. So friends, as you can see, this theory assumes that people's motivation in an organization is based on the desire to be treated equally and fairly. And if individuals perceive that the rewards are not fair, then they will feel distress and try to change things to create a sense of fairness. Now, based on equity theory, employees who perceive inequality will make any of these 6 choices. Now, first is they will try to change the inputs. Then second is they will try to change outputs. Then third is they will try to distort perceptions of self. Then next is they will try to distort perceptions of others. Then next is changing the comparison. Now in this, they will try to compare themselves with someone else. And lastly, leaving the field. That is quitting the job. So friends, with this, I hope the Adams equity theory is clear to you. Now, as always, let's do a case study that will make this concept crystal clear. Now friends, before moving ahead, don't forget to get your CAIIB Masters pack, which is a pack of 4 books. These first 2 are secret sauce books, which are in fact summarized notes, and these last 2 are question banks of ABM and BFM respectively. You can also get individual books as per your needs. All the links are there in description to this video, so don't miss out on these. Friends, you can also get Retail Banking 1000 series, which contains chapter-wise questions and detailed case studies. Get your copies today itself by clicking the links in the description. Lastly, always get updated editions since I update all these question banks after every 6 months, that is after exams. Let's move forward with our lecture. And the case study goes like this. Mrs. Annie from Kerala was hired directly from her college along with 3 other graduates from different schools that had comparable backgrounds. They all started out with same salaries, 2 on one team and 2 on another team. As the year came to a close, evaluations and raises were conducted throughout the organization. Annie felt that she would receive a raise that was of the same amount as that of other colleagues. But she came to find out that her raise was in fact 0.5% less than those of other 2 recent graduates. Now she felt offended and tried evaluating what the difference between her and others were. First, she distorted her view of their work. Others were working on new projects and had been putting on some extra time to keep up. And she thought if she had been given a new project, then she also may have put in some extra time. She then started to try to make up for the inequality by decreasing her inputs. She began to come into the work late. She felt that this was justified since she was not making what her other colleagues were making. This made her feel as though she was more on an equal level and would justify her lower salary. Now, which of the motivation theory is she inspired from? And the first option is equity theory. Then second option is Vroom's theory. Then third option is Porter and Lawyer's model. And last option D is Herzberg's theory. Now friends, this is a very good case study, and to answer this question, you must know all these motivational theories really well. I have discussed all these 4 theories in one of the previous questions. So please revise all those and then reread the case study again. So the correct answer to the given question is option A, that is Adams' equity theory. Now as you can see, Annie started distorting the others' inputs and outputs and started decreasing her inputs to reduce her feelings of offense and tension created by this unusual situation. Now friends, the equity theory of motivation is in fact a pretty powerful motivation. If people do not feel that they are being treated fairly, then they have to deal with in it some way to bring the comparison back to equilibrium. And this is what was done by Annie when she began to come to work late and leave earlier. So I hope the reasoning is clear to you. So the correct answer for the given question is option A. Lastly, you can access all the updated CAIIB resources from the links given in description to this video. So thank you, and I will meet you again in another lecture.